The glass towers of Grayson & Cummin, a prestigious consulting firm, gleamed under the morning sun. It was the kind of place people dreamed of working. High salaries, international clients, power in every corner office. Inside the building's lobby, two young men waited. One was Ethan Miller, a tall white man in a navy blue suit. His hair was neatly styled, his leather shoes polished to perfection. He sat back in his chair, scrolling through his phone, humming softly. The other was Marcus Johnson, a black man of the same age, equally sharp in his charcoal gray suit. His tie was knotted neatly, his resume stacked with degrees, internships, and achievements. He sat upright, back straight, holding his folder of documents with both hands. They were there for the same position, a junior consultant role, a role that could change their futures. The receptionist glanced at them occasionally. She smiled at Ethan, asked if he wanted coffee. She didn't ask Marcus, Marcus noticed. He always noticed. He had grown up hearing his mother's words. "Son, you'll have to work twice as hard to get half as much. Don't ever forget that." He didn't. He carried those words into every classroom, every test, every interview. Ethan, meanwhile, had always been told, "You can be anything you want." Both men were brilliant. Both deserved the job, but the world often measured them differently. At last, the receptionist called them in, one after the other. Ethan went first. He shook hands confidently with the panel. 3 interviewers in suits, their smiles wide, their questions light. "Tell us about yourself." Ethan, he laughed easily, spoke about his university clubs, his summer in Europe, his leadership roles. The panel chuckled along, nodding. They asked him technical questions too, but the atmosphere was warm, almost friendly, like old colleagues catching up. When Ethan left the room, he felt sure the job was his. Marcus entered next. He walked tall, shoulders squared, but his palms were damp. He extended his hand. Only 2 of the 3 shook it. "Sit down," one interviewer said flatly. The questions came, sharp, quick, probing. "Do you think you'll fit into our culture? What makes you think you can handle our demanding clients? Your resume looks impressive, but how much of this was team effort?" Marcus answered each one with clarity. His voice was steady, his examples strong. He spoke of leading projects, managing crises, innovating solutions, but their eyes weren't warm. Their smiles never reached their eyes. One interviewer leaned back and said quietly, "You seem intense. Do you think clients might find you a bit intimidating?" Marcus's chest tightened. He knew what that meant. It wasn't his tone, it wasn't his words. It was his skin. Still, he kept his composure. "I believe professionalism and results speak louder than anything else." After the interview in the lobby, Ethan and Marcus crossed paths. "How was it?" Ethan asked casually. Marcus forced a small smile. "It was fine." "Yeah, me too," Ethan replied, grinning. "Pretty sure I nailed it," Marcus nodded. He wanted to believe talent was enough, but deep down, he already knew. A week later, emails went out. Ethan's phone buzzed first. "Congratulations. We are pleased to offer you the position." He pumped his fist in the air. "I knew it." Across town, Marcus sat in his small apartment staring at his screen. "Thank you for applying. Unfortunately, after careful consideration, we have decided not to move forward with your application." He closed the laptop slowly. His chest burned, but his face was calm. He had learned not to show anger, because anger was always judged harsher when it came from him. Months passed. Ethan thrived at Grayson & Coger. He wore the sharp suits, attended high-end meetings, and posted smiling pictures on LinkedIn. But one day, during a corporate lunch, he overheard something. One of the interviewers, a senior partner, laughed while speaking to another executive. "Remember that guy?" "What was his name?" "The black candidate. Brilliant résumé, sharp as hell. But honestly not the right fit for our clients. Too different. Didn't want to take the risk." Ethan froze. His fork slipped from his hand. He realized the truth. Marcus hadn't lost because he wasn't good enough. He had lost because of something he could never change. That night, Ethan couldn't sleep. For the first time, he wondered, why me and not him? Meanwhile, Marcus didn't give up. He applied to dozens more firms, faced rejection after rejection, until finally, A smaller, more progressive company hired him. There, his brilliance shone. He rose quickly, his strategies winning clients, his leadership inspiring teams. He didn't have the glossy office tower of Grayson & Co., but he had something better, a place where he was valued not for how he looked, but for what he brought to the table. Years later, Grayson & Co. hit trouble. Their profits fell, their reputation weakened. The company that Marcus worked for? It was thriving, expanding, and soon it became a direct competitor. One crisp morning, Ethan, now a mid-level manager at Grayson, walked into a high-stakes client meeting. The new partner leading the negotiations was none other than Marcus Johnson. Their eyes met across the table. Ethan felt a lump in his throat. Marcus was confident, respected, admired by everyone in the room. And in that moment, Ethan knew. The job Marcus lost years ago was not a loss at all. It was the beginning of something greater. Talent has no color, but prejudice often blinds people to it. Marcus didn't lose because he wasn't good enough. He lost because the world sometimes chooses comfort over fairness. Yet true strength lies in resilience. And sometimes rejection is just redirection toward a place where your worth is undeniable.